Hey guys, welcome back to We the Honeys. I'm Honey.
I'm not Kalia. My name's Grant. And I'm visiting today so we could talk a little bit about Buddhism. That's what I grew up in, and Christianity.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about you, Grant.
So I grew up going to a Buddhist church. The one I specifically was in is under Jodo Shinshu. It's the sect of Buddhism is called Jodo Shinshu, and it follows the Buddha with Siddhartha Gautama, who was the Buddha. I went to church there, or the temple there, for probably, I don't know, my whole life through high school. And I was saved in 2023, I believe. So it was a long journey from that. I just always felt that Buddhism was a little bit incomplete, kind of, when I would question things, because I've always been someone that doesn't accept any answers because someone told me so. I have to know what it is and what is true. So that's kind of where things changed, and I found Christ.
Okay. Yeah, I met you probably like around a year ago.
Yeah.
At church. And like, I feel like immediately we hit it off after like small group, and like slowly but quickly became, on my side, probably one of my best friends. And like, honestly, get so much wisdom from you, and like just so much stuff that you pour into me. I don't even know if you realize, but like, you pour a lot into me and pour a lot into our household. And we're just blessed to have you in our lives. We love you so much.
I appreciate that. I love you guys too. And like, I feel like it's the same thing for me. Like, I feel like you guys have poured so much into me. So much wisdom and knowledge I get from you and Kalia. And, you know, it's crazy because I always tell people, like, you know, you're younger than me. I'm older than you. But we make, you know, like one complete middle-aged person.
Seriously.
And so it's, you know, it's fun because... But, you know, I think the thing that our common bond is just we both love Jesus. We love talking about scripture, theology, all that stuff. And, like, we could just sit there for hours and just chat about it. And I absolutely love that. And, you know, like, anyone that's down for that stuff, like, I'm down to kick it with you, too. But,
You're starting a YouTube channel?
No, probably not. So I don't know. What do you want to know about Buddhism?
Honestly, I don't know very much outside of like the New Age worldview of Buddhism. So like I imagine it's very surface level. From like I've done YouTube research. Some very like surface level research of like Christianity compared to Buddhism. What is Buddhism? Kind of not even so much who Buddha is. So like. Yeah, enlighten me on the basic, like, maybe foundation of, like, Buddhism. And I know that there's because you mentioned, like, there's different, like, types of Buddhism.
Yeah, it actually varies quite a bit. There's a lot of different types of Buddhism practiced around the world. So the one that I grew up in was, like, the Japanese version of Buddhism.
Gotcha.
From the main teacher was Rinyan Shoni, and he brought that. He was a teacher in Japan, then brought it over to America as well. But I guess there's so many different sects of Buddhism. SECTS. I didn't say a dirty word. But and so like some of them are more like Hinduism based. There's some like some of the Chinese ones with the fat Buddha that everyone sees and you rub the belly for good luck thing. That one is Chinese, but it kind of ties in Taoist or like Confucianism in
Interesting. It. So that doesn't that's not the same as like what you were saying, the Japanese style.
Yeah, I mean they're all Buddhism's all based off of Siddhartha Gautama, who was a prince in India. He also kind of had a divine. His mom had a dream, and then he was like supposed to be some sort of the one who would find the truth.
Interesting. Okay.
So he was like, it was one of those things too, like even with, I guess like Sarah and Abraham, you know, like they had, they weren't pregnant for so long, but Jesus was like, they were having trouble getting pregnant.
Yeah.
Or for Siddhartha.
Yeah.
And then he was born, dreamed. There was some sort of, I don't want to call him, I don't know, like a wise man or something like that. That kind of told them about that. He then was, like a prince. He actually got married, had a wife. He lived in luxury. Everything was good. There was no suffering or anything around him until, like, even after he was married, and then he finally left the palace gates. So everything he saw all the time was like, he only saw like young, vibrant, healthy people, beautiful things.
Yeah.
And so he actually didn't see the world until he actually like left the gates. And even before that, it was like the story is there was like a special route he was supposed to take through the city. So all the old people, all the sick people, all the, anyone with any sort of deformities, they were like hidden. So he didn't see it. And then he
because he's the prince. He's only
he's the prince.
The shiny things and like that's interesting.
Yeah, so that was kind of a thing his dad did because he didn't want him to. He wanted him to reign as prince and not become this teacher or
Interesting.
So once he came upon like an old sick man, and then he had like a realization that like all of my loved ones, this can happen to them someday. Everyone I know, this can happen to them. Because he didn't even have that reality in him. So from there, he basically like renounces his royal, I don't know the word.
His like status.
His royal status, and then he just sets out on a path to find the truth.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's where Buddhism starts, or is that where?
That's like his quest, like, is to start that. He learns from a couple different like masters, different ways to meditate, and then basically he's under what they call like the Bodhi tree, and then he reaches enlightenment, which is enlightenment just means you're to be fully awake.
Okay.
So you kind of like
you're like half awake when you don't know.
Yeah,
you're kind of
like,
aware and
your awareness and everything is like completely awake, and then like when you are enlightened, it's a state of nirvana, and nirvana is basically like a state of like peace. Like there's nothing else, like there's nothing higher you can attain than enlightenment.
That's crazy.
To reach nirvana. And that's like crazy. The goal of like all Buddhists is to reach enlightenment.
That's interesting because what I've heard of nirvana, at least from like New Age perspective, it's like it's heaven. Yeah,
so like after you pass, that's where they go, I guess, like is to nirvana.
So is there in that relative like sphere, is there a hell also? Because if there's a nirvana, does that mean that like, because you have to achieve an enlightenment, right? And what happens if you don't achieve the enlightenment?
Yeah, then there's like, then you kind of go into the part where they talk about like the karma stuff.
Okay.
So you kind of can get like the redo, and then you go back until you reach perfection, basically.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I don't want to make a joke about it because it's like rude, but if you come back the lesson you might need to learn, you might come as like a lower status, so you can learn to be more humble or something like that in the future one.
So you might come back as like I've heard of the reincarnation of like like you were like terrible person, you come back as an ant, like stuff like that.
But generally speaking, in most of the churches that I've come across, for like when someone passes away in Buddhism, everyone that like passes away is a Buddha, and they're going to nirvana.
So it's like the good side of it. Like nobody wants to think of the like they didn't reach nirvana. Is that what I'm hearing? Like
yeah. I mean, and you just don't want to.
You don't want to say that.
You don't want to
pass judgment, I guess.
Yeah, and just be like, dang, this is like the 200th time I had to run it back.
Yeah.
I'm still not getting it, but so that's like, or I mean, it really, when it comes to like what actually like happens to you when you pass away is like the biggest distinction, I think, with Buddhism versus Christianity. Because I think as my reverend told me that basically like Buddhism is more of a life philosophy than it is actually a religion. Because Buddha was, he was a prince. He walked this earth, no doubt about that. He was, definitely a historical figure. but he was a man and he passed away. So
Yeah.
like, as we know, like Jesus Christ is the only like major religious, or the major world religious figure that actually resurrected.
Yeah.
He's the only one that's still living. So
Only one that claimed to be God and
Correct.
resurrected.
Correct, yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's crazy to think about. You mentioned church, because I've seen this on buildings, like driving around and stuff. Like I've seen like a Buddhist temple, but I've also seen like Buddhist churches. Is there a difference in that?
I don't believe so. I think it's just more of like a Western term, just so
Yeah.
people know what it is.
Understand
type of
it.
thing.
Yeah. Because historically, and even in the inception of the word church, it's always related to Christianity, and the
Correct.
church being the bride of Christ. And it's from the sounds of it. I've heard that from like other like religions and whatnot too. Like they adopt the term and then utilize it to instead of temple or something. So
Yeah.
it doesn't sound as kind of off-putting to Americans, maybe, or West.
Yeah, I think or it just makes them more comfortable to walk through the door, right?
Gotcha.
Like I think that's kind of the church marketing thingy.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the comfortability piece. You're more comfortable walking.
Because I mean,
church.
other religions, right? Like if you go to a Muslim temple, like it's a mosque. It's not a temple. It's a mosque. Like there's no distinction. I might call it a temple, but not offending you guys. I'm sorry. But you know, like that's just, you know, they proclaim that name and like you know exactly what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. So within practicing Buddhism, I looked at some of the statistics, and California is the highest population of Buddhists in all of the United States. But I've also, when I was doing a little bit of research, seen testimonies of people in Buddhism, and even in like other world religions coming to America. Maybe it's a trend. Like it wasn't really, and you kind of said it, it wasn't like the full-on practice of Buddhism. It was
Correct.
more of like a lifestyle of like, or like a community center.
Yeah.
Was that your experience?
Ours was more like ours was more just because like after World War II, the Japanese community was, you know, had to be pretty tight knit. So that was, it was like everything. Like, you know, that's where you found your wife. That's, you know, where you went for social gatherings. Really where it was, like even like sports and everything, like everything was in the community.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So it was tight knit in that way.
Yes.
So
definitely. Yeah.
Did you guys, with that, was everything done within the community? And like, if you kind of strayed out, was there any tension in that?
No, not really. I don't think there was really like tension for people that left, but I think, you know, it's like with pretty much most churches, if you're so involved in those, right? Like all your friends are there, you know, your family all goes there. Your social life is there. You really don't stray, you know, from that type of thing.
It makes sense. Like you have more holding you there than like maybe a religion that you don't know as well. Yeah. So have you experienced, or at least before you found Jesus, somebody else finding Jesus and coming back to the Buddhist church and talking about it? Or what was your experience with Christians before?
Oh, so like, so like my understanding of Christians before was just like really just very juvenile. Like, you know, I would go somewhere and then some random person would stare me in the eye and say Jesus loves you, and it would be like, that's weird.
You're like,
you know, it's like I don't know you, like I don't, like you're probably cool but I don't love, you know, like and like I just thought really like they love this book, never read it, never, you know, really even seen one besides at a hotel when I opened the drawer, and then just
so they don't have that anymore. We were just at a hotel. And
budget cuts, but
budget cuts.
Budget cuts. But, like I just really thought it was just, you know, like a guy in the clouds. I thought he was a white dude. I didn't know Jesus in Nazareth. I didn't know where Nazareth was or any of that stuff. So I just had a very juvenile understanding. My sister was actually the first one to actually find Christ, and she would take me to, like, every time I would go visit her, she'd take me to church, and I'd be like, man, that was such a beautiful message. It was so awesome. And then, you know, just throw it away when I got back and
Yeah.
do my
Don't
thing.
do much with it.
Yeah, but but it would just like some things would just sit in my mind, and then like I have a couple cousins who have like they've been saved for a long time, and they'd always my birthday card they'd like put some scripture and write all this stuff, and I was like, what is this mumbo jumbo?
Yeah, you're like, I'm not looking that up.
Like, I'm not that dude. Like, I'm not part of your cult. Like, stop doing this to me. You're harassing me. But no, but it was all a love, and like I only understand that now.
Yeah.
But before I was just like, like this stuff is just like weird. I thought it was almost culty, in the way that people could love God so much.
Yeah.
Which is, it's just like a weird concept, right? Like, you love your wife, you love your kids, you love your girlfriend, you love your boyfriend, husband, whatever. But like, to love something that's like outside of you was like a complete thing that I had never had that concept before.
Yeah. Is that like, 'cause you're very like manly man, like, was that a hard concept for you to kind of like carry on? Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like, I mean, that's still like a struggle today, right? Like when I say bye to you, right? I'm like, love you, bro. Like, because I genuinely love you. Yeah. Not like that, but but I love you. But it's like, but just to even say that, like that word to somebody is like, it means a lot for me to say. I don't say things that, I don't really give compliments unless I actually mean it.
Yeah.
And so, just to like say that to someone, but not flippantly, but like to actually mean it is like a weird concept to me.
Yeah.
Same, and I'm still working, like it's still like definitely like something God's working on me for like in this last season, like, I've had just a lot of like craziness going on in my life, but I think it was just the Lord teaching me like humbleness, obedience, and submission. And submission is like the hardest. That was like the absolute hardest one for me, because like, I could do it myself. I always got it. I'll figure out a way myself. But to actually like, when things are just like bad and you got to get on your knees and pray and just give it to God, it's like that was so humbling for me. And he's come through, like so many times, and I'm so thankful. But that concept, I catch myself on it more now, but I'm still not at it where I think I should be with my walk, but
I feel that
getting there for sure.
Yeah, I think that we all have that in a little bit different ways of like comfortability with God, and like our relationships all look a little bit different because of our background.
Yeah.
So from walking out of Buddhism, how, in looking back, how would you tell people to evangelize to them, or how can we evangelize to them? From your experience?
From my experience, I think they are probably some of the easier ones. Well, it depends. So I think like in California, we have Buddhism there's the ones that go to a Buddhist temple, right? But then there's also these like kind of like self-taught guru Buddhists that are into the new age stuff. Yeah. Those are people that are harder to reach. But I think like a general practitioner of like a traditional Buddhism is open for those conversations.
Interesting.
And I think the things that, like just sharing the gospel, I think is probably one of the biggest ones, because that's the thing that differentiates it. And I think one of the biggest things, it's just for me, but I don't think you say it to somebody, but like, like if you're at a temple, Buddhist temple, and you're praying, or if you're at a mosque praying, the person the one that you're praying to is dead, right? Again, Jesus is the only one that's still alive. But I think the gospel speaks for itself. But then knowing that you have like, because he died on the cross for us and he shed his blood to atone for our sins, and that if we follow him, we actually go to heaven, versus a vague like, do good. But like we always talk about like, what is good? Yeah. It's basically like, I don't know, it's up to you what good is, right? Because Hitler thought he was doing good.
Yeah, right? That's like the defining moment. And when I was doing a little bit of research on Buddhism, they were talking about, exactly the same thing, doing good. But like, what feels good doesn't always equal good. Like, it could feel good to hit somebody, but the truth is that's not good because
Yeah.
you're harming somebody else.
Yeah,
You're harming
yeah.
another human being, or even like drugs. Like you're doing drugs. It feels good, but you're actually doing something bad that's destroying your body. And I think that that's even. And sorry if I'm cutting you off
No, you're
early,
good.
but like within New Age, it seems like there's they want to be Buddhist, but they also want to be everything else.
Correct, yeah.
And that's something that they don't quite understand.
It does have like certain ties though. I mean, I get why they're in kind of like both worlds because of karma, right? So like New Age people are like good deeds, like bear good fruit, right?
Yeah.
Which, yes, good things do bear good fruit, but it's the intention that you're doing it with because it's like always like a selfish type thing.
Yeah.
So like in Buddhism, they'll say like you build up your karma, right? So, but there's no like, it's not like you hit 50,000 karma points and then
Then you're going
go to
into Nirvana.
Yeah. It's kind of like you want to, as long as you're doing more good than outweighs the bad, then you're okay. But
How do they weigh that?
security in that.
They don't know. It's up to because they also don't have a creator God, right? Like it's
No.
so within Buddhism.
If they do, it's like kind of would be rooted more in like Hindu beliefs.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So within the weighing scale, and
Yeah.
I don't know how it's weighed out, but from the sounds of it, it just sounds like you kind of throw the dice and you hope that you've reached nirvana and full enlightenment, or you go to reset.
Yeah.
And the determining factor is like whatever God is overseeing that, or
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because I mean, like that's the same.
No, yeah, because it's like, who knows, like.
Yeah, because it's similar to New Age of
Correct.
like.
That's why I think it's easy for them to kind of get into both because they're similar in that way.
Because it almost seem like they have a peer review idea of it, of like, because it's easy enough to say, oh, like that person's going to hell because of how they're acting or what they've done, but how do we know that they haven't reached full enlightenment on their own time?
Yeah.
Because like enlightenment is like kind of what you explained, and then like there's the karma points. Is that like do your karma points have to equal with your enlightenment?
No, enlightenment is just it's like a state of being. Okay. So you just like you. Okay, so like the one. Sorry, I gotta use my phone, guys. But,
you're good.
So the major tenets are the Four Noble Truths.
Okay.
So this is basically once Buddha was enlightened, this is what he basically said. So the Four Noble Truths, the truth of suffering. All of life involves experience of dissatisfaction, impermanence, and suffering. The cause of suffering is rooted in craving, attachment, ignorance, the desire to hold on to pleasures and push away things we like. So like sin.
Yeah.
Like that's sin. Cessation of suffering. It is possible to end suffering by overcoming and letting go of these attachments. So Buddha fasted a lot.
Yeah.
Like in meditation. So that was his way of, like conquering like his flesh in a way.
Okay.
And then the path to end of suffering. This path leads away from suffering and liberation, which is the Eightfold Path, which is basically like the life philosophy, like the way you should live. So a right view is one. Seeing the world clearly, accepting the Four Noble Truths, and understanding the law of cause and effect. So you do good things happen.
Gotcha.
You do bad happens. Right intention. That's number 2. To cultivate thoughts of renunciation, goodwill, and non-harming. So basically, just treat other people well.
Gotcha.
Ethical conduct. So right speech. This one's for me. Communicating in a truthful, constructive, and compassionate manner while avoiding gossip, harsh words, and lying. So that's all good stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's great. Right action. Acting in ways that are harmless and respectful, which includes refraining from stealing, killing, and sexual misconduct. Kind of sounds like 10 Commandments, right?
Yeah.
Right livelihood. Earning a living in a way that does not cause harm to you or others. And then there's discipline, mental discipline stuff. So right effort. So the persistent conscious effort to abandon unholiness state of mind and cultivate wholesome positive ones.
Got it.
Right mindfulness, the practice of maintaining a calm, clear, and non-judgmental awareness of the present moment, your body, and your mind. Right concentration. Develop deep mental focus, often through meditation, to calm the mind and gain deeper insights into reality. So do you know about, what do you know about meditation? Kind of.
So my understanding of meditation, there's two different understandings from Christianity. Meditating on something is like, for instance, like meditating on God's word. So it's reading a scripture, kind of memorizing it, constantly saying it to yourself, talking to God, trying to discern things through it, or just discerning your time with God and spending time with the Lord and like speaking to Him in a space that you're kind of away from nonsense, away from craziness, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Is that
No, it's,
my understanding?
so
It might be a little bit
the
different.
Eastern meditation practice is basically to meditate is just to be in like a serene state. So it's just to meditate and then just become to where you have absolutely like nothing. Like you want to, like, you meditate to just clear your mind of like everything and like cease to have any thought or picture or anything like that.
Okay.
It's the way I guess it's like kind of like, I don't really know how to like, I don't know the right word for it, but it's like an experience to like kind of like blank slate yourself, I guess.
Interesting.
In a way.
Doing
Or
like
your
a palette
thoughts.
reset. Almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that part's really interesting because we always talk about meditating on the word, and I was like, why is the pastor talking about stuff that's like pagan? You know?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but it's not that. Like, when we talk about meditating on the word, we're like thinking deeply about the message that he says, and like, each word, and like, what does he mean? And we're praying and we're talking to God, and we're like, let the Holy Spirit give me some sort of revelation about this word.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So they will meditate into not think about anything whatsoever.
Like, that's okay. There's a couple forms, and then there's also like a form where they'll get some sort of like revelation from it as well. But generally, the practice of meditating is just to like calm yourself down and just like kind of like blank everything so that you can.
Interesting. Okay.
Reach like a state. Yeah.
Have you ever meditated to like a blank state like that?
No, not at all.
Do you think it's possible to? I mean, I'm sure people
think
can
so.
probably, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if that doesn't seem like something I might have, like borderline ADHD, but like.
No, I mean, even like when because I'm like a visual person. That's like the way my mind works. So I see like pictures and create stories. So if I just hear someone's name, you're like, oh, this is, like Bethany. And then you're like, Bethany went to Santa Clara and she grew up in Ohio. Like, I'm building a profile of that person. But like for me to like blank slate something, because I did get into meditation, like when I did all kinds of crazy stuff. So like I was into like New Age, and I did yoga for a while, which you guys can't tell I did yoga, but I did yoga for a minute. And that is part of like meditating, but it does like when you're doing yoga and like breath work and all those different things, you do reach a state where you're kind of not everything, you kind of like block everything out, like outside you.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool, but I don't think it's, as we know, like that type of stuff is not good.
Yeah.
As a follower of Christ. So like, and yoga too is one of those things. They actually, the poses and like the hand gestures and all that stuff.
It's all like idol worship.
Yes. It's not just like, what like housewives do with their Lululemons on like every Tuesday. It's it's a worship. Yeah. It's a worship
that's how it originated.
Yeah.
It's like a form of,
yeah.
And it's interesting about that because a lot of people like to argue like the Christmas thing or like Easter. But then they're freely doing yoga on the side, and it's like, well, like these things actually didn't originate historically, like Easter, Christmas, and maybe
It's
We'll
so
do a
easy to
video on
get.
that
Yeah, it's so
one day.
easy for us to get caught up in all that like stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't. It's just stuff we don't even think about, right?
Yeah. It's like the stretching that is now modernly
Yeah.
used in like every single gym, studio, whatever, is actually linked to idol worship, which is crazy to me. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like it's good for your body. Like you feel awesome when you're done, and
yeah.
I've never sweated so much in my life.
Yeah.
And, you know, but I mean, like, yeah, like what it does for your body, like the core strength and everything that comes out. But yeah, there's like things behind it. Even the music they play, sometimes it gets you in some sort of like trance state.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's really interesting. But
Yeah. So you told me a couple weeks ago too. We're transitioning out of Buddhism
what
here.
did I say?
Yeah, you told me a couple weeks ago we were having lunch. We go on walks. Like once a week.
Yeah.
Our work is like a couple blocks away from each other. But you told me that a little bit about your testimony and coming out. If you're comfortable talking about it, we were sitting there eating, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I used to do Reiki."
Oh
and
yes.
Yeah. I was just like, I didn't know this about.
Yeah, so like,
this is
I guess I was like a warlock. I don't know, but
a warlock.
No, I wasn't a warlock. I won't give myself that title. No. That's too cool. But yeah, so like I used to do Reiki, which is energy healing. If you guys ever know a little bit about it, it's basically where you go through like some training, and then if someone has, say, like their knees sore, and then you like put your hands, you don't physically touch them, but you put your hands around them, and then they'll feel like a sensation, and it's like energy healing. The way it works is basically like I would do some sort of like preparation with my body to allow the energy to flow through me, and basically the energy would just like kind of like beam through your head, and then it like flows out through your hands,
and you could like actually
and you can actually like feel it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Like they have you practice with plants too.
That's
and
crazy.
So, you know, at first they're like, hold this plant and then it'll vibrate. And I'm just like, yo, like that's your pulse though. It's going to vibrate if you hold it long enough, right? And then they're like, yeah, well then put your hands away from it. All the windows are closed, no AC on. And then you put your hands, and then this thing's just like shaking.
Interesting.
So, you know, it was just sitting there as like a static object, and then now it's like vibrating, it was nuts. And then I was like, okay. I did it for probably like a couple of years, just to like family and friends type thing. But like headaches, I've, you know, helped people, their headaches were gone. Or I had a buddy whose knee was like pretty much like bone on bone type of thing. I did it for his knee, and then yeah, he's like, oh, it's like the greatest thing ever. Like, when can I come back and do it again? So there's definitely power in that. But after you know giving my life to Christ, I just like renounced all of that stuff. I do see there's like healing power in that, but opening myself up to, you know, just like spiritual things that I have no idea where that power is coming from.
Yeah.
I don't want any part of that.
That's like the psychic thing, right? Like,
yeah.
Because the Bible speaks about psychics. Like, I think it was Peter literally casted out a demon out of a girl because she kept like saying, these are like people of God. And like, he was irritated, so he casted the demon out of her, which is funny. But like, it was because she kept on persisting, and she was like exposing, and like people were getting scared of like, this is weird. Like, I don't even want to go near anybody because this schizophrenic lady is chasing them around yelling this. But like, no, like she was kind of like blowing up the gospel in that way. So like, all that to say is that there are things that are spiritual that can actually be done, like you were saying, by the wrong power.
Correct. Yeah.
And we need to be aware of that. Like, we are giving gifts from the Holy Spirit, but that's not to say that the enemy doesn't give gifts.
Oh yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
You made or you were talking a little bit earlier about like the telephone thing.
Oh, yeah. It's like I don't know. This is like I didn't grow up in this era, but there used to be this thing called party line. So you would call
He's that
phone
old.
in a
He's that
general
old.
area. Yeah, I'm 82, guys, but like we're no one, not everyone had phones in their house now. I mean, it's crazy now. Someone doesn't have a cell phone or a smartphone.
Yeah.
And it's crazy when people have Androids, so that just messed up the text. But anyways, the real point is that, yeah, like you would pick up the phone, you don't know who's on the other side of the line, and then they would say, hey, can you have Becky call me back? And Becky's your neighbor, so you'd go get Becky. But you don't, like you're just picking up this phone. So that's what psychics are doing. They're picking up this phone every time, and the information sounds good, but you don't know where it's coming from. They have no idea. They're identifying themselves as, like I'm John's grandpa, but like who knows? Because demons, like, I mean, they're all around us, like all the time. Like there's spirits all around us. We don't know what's going on, but they're listening. They're smart. They're not dumb.
Yeah, they're older than, I mean, we could probably imagine. They're older than humanity.
Yeah.
So,
and they don't their whole purpose is just to get us to go to hell and in torment, because they're just full of hatred, right? Like they don't want us to go to heaven. And like they'll tell you truthful stuff because they want to like reel you in. And then after a while, like when you start looking to that, and that becomes your idol, right? That psychic or that person that's telling you that right information, then they're going to start leading you astray. So it's not, you might go for the first time and, they might tell you who the love of your life is or whatever. Sorry, lady, but like, they just keep reeling you in, and then, who knows what's happened after that. So it's best not to mess with any of that stuff.
Yeah, there's like some stuff with Ariana Grande and the other lady on the movie
they're witches?
Wicked. Yeah. I think they're like outright witches, right? And like everybody's like watching them kind of like become frail and like kind of look like they're broken. Like, I mean, that's what it is. Like they look like you touch them and they'll like fracture into a million pieces. And it's like in that same way, like the demons are like kind of feeding off of you, and you think that like, oh, like I'm gonna eat this crystal. I made a joke about this like I think a week ago with Cleo. Like I'm gonna crush this crystal up and put it in my tacos, and it's actually salt and whatnot. Like, that's
crazy. That's crazy.
But yeah, that's interesting. It's really interesting. So with Reiki, in your experience of that, when you found Christ, did you immediately recognize that was something that? Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I did. I mean, but the thing is, like, like, I could totally see why people are like, oh, I'm, like, helping people. Like, like this, my grandma has arthritis in her hands, and every time I do it, she gets relief for, like, 2 weeks, and then, like, it comes back, and then I do it again and help her. I mean, I've only seen positive out of it, but again, I don't know the source of it. So that's the biggest thing for me. And, like, even the part that really made me say no to it was, so I was like level 1 or something. I don't know if there's like 1, 2, or 3, but there's different levels of it that you receive training for. But the master level is where you can actually do Reiki like over distance.
That's right, you were telling me about
that.
that.
So like if I could call you, and then as long as I'm like, I don't know if I need like something of yours, like if I need like a hat, or some personal object, or if it's just like I have to like think about you, because I didn't train that. But basically, through the phone, you don't even have to be like talking to me. You could just put the phone on the counter, and then I could send you energy through that.
That's crazy.
Reiki.
Yeah, that's
but
actually
the thing
wild.
that was freaky about it was they would do these like, like Doctor Strange, like the Avenger. Right? Yeah. You know how he does
his
all
little
this
hand
stuff.
movements.
So there's those there's symbols. I don't know what they are, but they're symbols that the practitioners actually learn, to draw out before they're able to send it distance.
Interesting. Okay.
And so, symbols, right? Like those are always like things I'm like, ugh, like stay away from that, right?
Yeah, like I'm doing on our Patreon, I'm doing a series right now called like the Symbols of Faith.
Yeah.
And like symbols at like face value, people kind of will see something and then be like, oh, like whatever, that looks cool. But there's a deeper meaning
Correct.
to every
Yeah,
symbol,
like
even in the Christian faith. We don't use it in the same way, but that like you're gonna get healing if like I do a Father, Son, Holy Spirit kind of cross over you. But like there's a meaning behind it.
Correct. Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting.
But then those symbols that they're actually drawing like give them some sort of power to do things.
Yeah.
So like like I don't know. I guess Doctor Strange is real, but
yeah.
But like all that stuff. I mean, it's like witchcraft, sorcery. I mean, like
it sounds like it touches the same realm.
Cast spells, right? Like and all that stuff. So yeah, I was just like when I learned about that part, I was like, yo, that's like kind of wild.
That's the first thing that came to mind when you were talking about like having a personal item or whatever it was. Is just like thinking about like the witches like taking a piece of hair or like a doll or something like that. And it kind of I don't know the origins of Reiki. I'm probably gonna go do research after the
film. I don't know much about it either, which is not a good wise thing to do either, is to just like hop into something because it's kind of cool. My dad was into a lot of those like practices, like he did Tai Chi, and there's this other one called Qigong. There's just like different ones.
Gotcha.
I don't know, Qigong was this one where you do like these like martial art type forms. And then he actually like, he like blew smoke out of his mouth out of not ingesting anything.
He didn't hit the.
So there's like there's like all kind of like so like as far as like that's why I don't mess with like stuff that like I don't like going to haunted houses. I don't like Halloween. I don't like to mess with stuff because I like seeing too much stuff and I know it's real. So I just like I'm like. Steer clear. I know I don't have to be afraid of it, but at the same time, if I don't need,
you want to keep the distance. Right.
Good,
Same thing. Like, and me and Clea talked about it before, but like my life before Jesus, like I touched New Age. My friends were all New Age, like, and like in the things that we were doing outside, we were also touching New Age without even really thinking about it.
Yeah.
It was more satanic than anything. But yeah, so how was it with Buddhism and Reiki? Did the people within the Buddhist community kind of...
Well, yeah, the ones that I learned, the teachers were from the church, but...
Oh, so they taught you...
Yeah, but that's, like sometimes, they'll just have like, they'll do like chair yoga for the scene. It's kind of like that. Yeah. They would just happen to be members that knew this and that type of stuff. But I mean, I'm sure it's like a Eastern type of thing. And so, I don't know, Asian, so I guess it comes from that area.
Well, did they like accept it and they didn't care?
Yeah, there's no thing to it because like Buddhism is pretty passive for most things. So like,
and you were saying they're very
if it's helping, healing, that type of stuff, like great,
Okay. That makes sense then.
Yeah.
So it sounds like from everything you're saying too, like Buddhists are like just super open in general.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like I can see how like New Age kind of like takes in their stuff and they're just like, we'll take this because you guys are so open.
Yeah, it's just
or it's like easier to fall into New Age.
Acceptance, love, right? Like all those terms are very much a part of that community.
Okay.
Which it's like. It's the good person stuff, like, so even like, I think we talked about earlier a little bit was just like the LGBTQ community. And I'm sorry if I'm leaving out a few letters, but,
the pluses,
but yeah, like they're open to that stuff. So they'll definitely like champion like the love is love and all that type of stuff.
It's interesting. It's interesting that everybody wants to take in everything, but they want to reject Christ and all of that. And maybe there are some. I've ran into people who are like, they read their Bible, but they're also New Age, and I'm like, kind of contradicts teachings quite outright. And is there any like, have you experienced that? Because I know Buddhism has their own like sacred text or something of the
kind of not really. I mean, everything's basically so like each the thing with like the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, that's like the core of every
Gotcha.
teaching.
Okay.
Again, I can only speak for the one that I know. I don't know about, some of the other ones. Like Zen Buddhism, that's more about just all meditation, which I have no idea anything about. But as far as like the text itself, there's no Bible necessarily.
Gotcha.
So like there is some sort of doctrine from that specific teacher that you learn.
Gotcha.
But it's not like universal across. Like,
so it depends on the teacher then. Like
kind of, yeah. So like, how like Catholics, like I bash them sometimes for their teachings, but like, they still have the Bible.
Yeah.
Protestants still have Baptists still have the Bible, all of us. I guess I just like to say I'm a believer in Christ and I just go by the Bible, but I guess I'm non-denominational. Whatever that means nowadays.
Means you carry Baptist doctrines.
And they play cool music at church.
Yeah.
Right?
Contemporary.
Keeps 100%. You awake, yeah.
I'm just kidding. Okay, so what I'm getting at is like within Buddhism, is there anything that they like universally outright say like, no, we reject this, we won't like agree?
To my knowledge, no.
Okay.
I don't know enough in that sense for it.
Gotcha.
I just know kind of like the beliefs and like the structure of it. And then like I can speak for mine and where I came from and what I know on that, but yeah, I don't know if like there's like some sort of like Buddhist council that says, like we do not believe in yada yada yada. And it's hard too because like we're in California, and so California pretty much no matter what church or whatever, it always has kind of like a liberal leaning towards things because it's just the culture here, right? And so like that's something that is just, it's hard to even speak for New Age people in other places because I don't think they may not have like the same ideology.
Interesting. It almost sounds like it's a philosophy more than it is.
Yes, 100%. It's a life philosophy. So, like when I was reading the ones like the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, it's like every Christian would be like, yeah, right on. Like, totally believe that. But when it comes to, like a Messiah, like what happens to you after you die, then that's where it really differs. But as far as like live righteously, like that's what they're saying here. Think about the way you interact with people, like pour into people, speak life into them, not use your words wisely, all that stuff. So it's great as a life philosophy. But where to me I just thought it wasn't complete was like, but why do we do these things? And how do we know where we're gonna go when we pass away? Because when I was growing up, that was something I always questioned from like a young age, was like death, because I had a lot of older relatives that passed away. I had 2 cousins that were young that passed away in tragic car accidents, unfortunately. But I'm like, where do they go? My parents passed away, and I'm like, where are they? Am I ever gonna see them again? I don't know. So that's where that was one of the biggest things when I kind of like bookwormed my way into Christianity. More than had like some sort of rock bottom experience where Christ met me.
That's interesting. That's very interesting, because that makes sense for coming from a belief system that is like more philosophical in that way. Like you probably, and like even like your New Age side of things, like when you were doing Reiki, like you're already experiencing things, but like what's the ultimate truth and like the end? What happens in the end, right? Like, so like you said, bookworming, that's a great term.
There's a lot of good in those, right? There's a lot of good in it, but it's just not complete. Like it's not wrapped up in a package that you can like understand. And it's like there's a lot of stuff in the Bible where I'm like reading it, I'm like, I don't like this, I don't agree with it, but I have to take everything or I take nothing, right? And so I just go about life that way.
It's interesting coming from a Buddhist perspective too, like because there's not really like in that way core doctrine I mean, like you said, that you have the principles, but like in even New Age, like they kind of cherry pick in a way. Like,
Correct.
I can take
Yeah.
this, but like, so what made you think that then? Like, I can't just like take some of it and leave the rest.
Because that's not the way life works. That's how chaos happens. I mean, really, it was like probably like the 2020 or during COVID, right? When the world was like, just like a mess. Everyone was at everyone's throat and all that stuff. And I was just like, if we all just like could agree on certain things, or we could say some things are out of bounds and some things are in bounds, but everyone was just, because politically like so separate, right? And it was like, I believe in this and this is like, and then you're like, but you're not really, you're twisting the truth to believe what you want to believe, and on the other side it was the same thing, and then it was just chaos. So without order there's chaos. Duh. But
So it's like,
that was so
like the yin and yang.
Yeah, that was such a dramatic thing. And it was like, and I remember this one lady that I used to work with, and she said, I don't like Christianity because there's too many rules. And I was, I don't, it was just like, she just said it, nothing crazy. She didn't yell at me or anything, but it just always stuck in my head. And then like, to have that like revelation later, it was like, yeah, like God created us. He created this world, but he created order in the world. And if you get out of order, then there's complete chaos, which, like politics and COVID can make things a mess. But, to just kind of like, for me, it just really opened my eyes to like why there was so much chaos, because people are believing more in themselves than they are above. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, because the Bible in Genesis talks about literally like the Lord brings like chaos to order, and like even then, like he was creating and he called it good because like it had to happen, but he brought it to order and to follow a certain alignment of things. So like, yeah, I can see like why you would read that then and read the Bible and be like, okay, like I can't just take this. Like these people are also saying that like in their philosophy of living, you shouldn't just take a verse and then live by that. You should take the Bible and live by that. It's interesting. So back to the evangelism side, like so closing out a little bit, like we just went back, but back to the evangelism side. So like walking away from all of that, if you were to go back into the Buddhist community, or maybe you have already, like how would you like share the gospel to them? Or if you met a Buddhist on the street, how would you not necessarily like initiate the conversation, but have that conversation? And maybe what would their response be?
All I could do is just like tell them who Jesus is and like what he's done in my life through testimony. I think most Buddhists, like a lot of other religions, are very much generational. So it's just, if you ask, I think a lot of Buddhists, and you say like, do you know why you're Buddhist? They're going to be like, yeah, because my dad was, and my grandpa was, and my great grandpa was, and, so it's just got that legacy stuff built into it. There's not really like a foundational truth or principles. There's like a million rituals that everyone knows. Not in the Japanese one, but like in like Chinese ones and stuff like that, other Asian cultures that have more cultural traditions, I guess. Is that the word? But they practice those all the time. They're like, oh, like every first of the month you gotta like sweep your house out, or you can't wash your hair for 2 weeks after someone passes, or different things. And it's like, and I'm like, why do you do that? And it's just based upon tradition. So I think, if they're open to it, I think you can have that conversation with them and just preach the gospel to them and tell them why, Jesus Christ can save them. But other than that, I mean, it's hard, because it's hard to break people out of stuff that everyone else, like their whole family line has been in. I actually had a friend tell me, which really, really like broke my heart, but I was telling him about it, Jesus, and I just preached the gospel to him, and he was like, dude, that sounds great, and like I love everything that you said, but if I I'd rather go where I'll see my family again than be without them. And so, in other words, I'd rather, if they're all in hell, I'd rather go to hell to be with them than I would want to go to heaven by myself.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah. And that's, like scripture says, like he came down to, with the rod to like,
cut the mother from daughter.
Father, and all that stuff. And it's like, it's true. And one of my other friends just told me, she's like, dude, you can't save everyone. I mean, I know I can't save everyone. That's the Holy Spirit. But like, yeah, unfortunately, there's just going to be a lot of deaf ears that I'm like going to talk to. And a lot of people that I care about a lot that just don't want to hear anything that I have to say. So that's the part that's always like really tough for me, because that's why I like evangelizing and I'm into apologetics and stuff, because that's important to me. And I want to be ready when people have those questions. But as far as like for Buddhists, I'm just like thinking about it and I'm like, dude, I don't really know how to.
They just seem very like from what you're saying, they're very open people. Conversation wise.
Yeah.
So.
Because they don't have like a firm foundation that they stand on, right? It's different than like a Muslim or Mormon or
Jehovah's Witness or something.
Yeah. What's that new one? The Mother God people.
Oh, World Mission Society Church of God.
Yeah, I haven't met any of them, but I'm pretty excited to someday.
Come with me to Target.
Yeah,
like
I hear they're at Targets and Walmarts.
Yeah, they really like the Walmart. We should do a video on that one day.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
I have some jokes for them, but they're not gonna. I shouldn't do it, but
they'll probably just look at you blank. But they're probably one of the most like hardcore like brainwashing cults that I've met and ran into.
Yeah.
Because I mean we'll do it.
Because
we'll come back. After we have an experience with them together. We'll come back. We'll talk about it.
But, the one but as far as like for Buddhists, because they don't, like I was saying, they don't have like a really like strong conviction on a lot of stuff. Like you're not gonna get a ton of resistance to where you're gonna they're gonna want to disprove you, or you could disprove them, right?
Because it's just a philosophy of lifestyle, right? So in their philosophy of lifestyle, it will align scripturally. And I mean, honestly, there may be people in the church that like are Buddhists that underlining like it within the church. Like they could be Buddhist and just attend church.
Yeah, so that's what the my reverend said. He's like, you could be a Buddhist and a Christian at the same time.
That's crazy, yeah. Because like as Christians, we would disagree. Like you can't be a Buddhist and a Christian, but like the philosophy aligns within Christianity outside of the fact that we believe that you are saved by Jesus. The only way to heaven is through the
him.
gates that is him, right? So the only way to the Father is through Jesus. So that's where I think that's probably the best place to start with.
Yeah, because I think just as like a life philosophy, like, it's good. Yeah. I think if you live like that, you're a pretty cool person, like, you'd be all right. For sure. You can come to the cookout,
We'll talk about Jesus, but you
can come to the cookout, but yeah.
So. Awesome, yeah. Well, thanks for coming, man.
Yes, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah. If you guys like this, go ahead and hit the like button. If you're new here, subscribe. We have a Patreon link down below if you guys want to sow a seed into our ministry. Also, we have some content on there that, we do that for people that want to sow into the ministry. So we want to give back.
All right, guys.
Have a good one.